Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, and I hope everybody is gonna have a good week. And I want to wish everybody a good week beforehand. Um, in today's topic, I thought I would talk about um, more than just Jewish culture, but Jewish culture in terms of their relationship, in our relationship with other cultures. Specifically, I wanted to talk about India and the Jewish community of India and the relationship with Hinduism and whatnot, and that's something that I've studied in the past, and I really like Hinduism and other like Indian religions such as Buddhism and Sikhism, and I've read a little bit about Jainism, but most of what I know is about Hinduism and Buddhism, and so I wanted to talk about the Jewish communities in India and the relationship between like Jews and Indians and what makes the community in India so special. Um, and so first of all, I think the most important thing that I think that I should cover about when discussing the Jewish relationship to India is that India is one of the most tolerant countries on the planet. Like seriously, like they have like people from every almost every single religion, and because Hinduism isn't really one religion, like everybody's worshiping different gods, everybody has different practices even for worshiping for the same god or for, so it's so diverse that putting it into a monolith just does not work out, which in turn is actually a good thing for Jewish people, and it was a good thing um, during like the Gupta, all the different Maurya Gupta, Chandra Gupta like empires, and so when that's what I know about when Jewish people mostly came to India around like 70 CE when the temple was destroyed. A lot of Jewish people came there seeking refuge, and over the years, they've continued to settle because of trade routes from the Arab world to India and from other places such as whatnot. And so it was cool that they were able to keep going over the years. And then later in like the 1600s, there were Jews from Baghdad. Like there are many of the major cities. Hi, that's my mom. Hi, and and many Jewish people from Baghdad settled in the major cities that were occupied by the British Empire, such as in Mumbai or Bombay and Kolkata. So they're like the Baghdadi Jewish community settled there. And then in 1492, in like Goa and along that coast, there were a lot of Portuguese Jews who were escaping the expulsion from Portugal. And so they settled in India there too. And over the years, like more British, Jews from the British Empire settled there. But one of the major cultural centers in India is in Cochin or Kochi in the like Kerala region, which is along the southwest coast of India, and Jewish people like those communities there really thrive, such as the Beni Israel community and other communities. And there's actually a Jew town in Cochin. They call it Jewtown. It's kind of funny that there's a community called Jewtown. And one other thing that like differentiates the community between like other communities is the concept of the Malida, and it's like a type of offering ritual to God that is very distinct to the Jewish community, and it's about like a rice, like they eat a certain rice or whatever, and or something, and they make like candles, and like every ceremony that has like a Jewish ritual has a Malida, and I think that's something that differentiates the community of like Jews from India versus the Jews from other places as well. Obviously, in 1948, there were obviously a lot of Jewish people who migrated to Israel and made Aliyah there, and so a lot of the communities in Kerala kind of like died out, which is like really sad. But there are still people that are living in Mumbai and Kolkata, but most of the people that manage the synagogues there are actually Muslims, and I think it's great that there is this interfaith relationship between Jews and Muslims taking care of each other and watching over some of the houses of worship that they have lived in. And so a lot of like what I said earlier, a lot of my interests are like about religion and culture and philosophy and whatnot. And so I actually know quite a bit about Hinduism, and I love Hinduism. And I think that you know, like the beauty of Hinduism is that they made space for everybody, and they will continue to make space for everybody. And like I think that a lot of Jewish people, like when they're like, oh, where should we go, where should we settle, where should we live, like they're like, oh, we should always settle in Israel, always settle in Israel because it's safe there for us and whatnot. And then now that I think about it, like, why aren't we settling in India? Like, why aren't we like going to live in India and like help build up India? Like, that would be amazing. Like, why don't we, like, Jewish communities settle in Asia? Like, Asia has always been relatively tolerant towards its Jewish community. There's a Jewish community in Korea that's developing. They just had a Chabad there. Like I mentioned in my earlier video, there's a Jewish community that's developing in China. Like, we aren't, I think that a lot of Jewish people aren't realizing the opportunities that are in the East and the economies that are in the East. And a lot of us are stuck in our Anglo, speaking communities. And so we don't go out and try to establish new communities elsewhere when there are places that are clearly much more tolerant, very minimal anti-Semitism. And I think we're not taking advantage of those opportunities. And I think that, like, as an option, I think Jewish people like should consider possibly settling in, Asia is like a safe space for them to live and establish communities. I think that people just aren't realizing and taking the opportunity to do so. Because why would you want to live in a place that, you experience anti-Semitism? I wouldn't. It's growing here in the United States, and I don't really like that. But when there's only been like the worst massacre was like 11 people, like it is kind of a wake-up call. So I think that, the community should, re-examine like where we want to go in the future. So yeah, thank you for listening. If you want me to post other videos about other religions and my thoughts and opinions on it, please feel free to comment and I'll make videos. But yeah, thank you for your time, and I want to wish you guys a great week. Thank you so much.